How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my humble abode. This is my room, and this is for the YouTube websites and for movie reviews. I actually was usually planning to have my friend Des here, but we'll do other episodes together on other discussions. And today I'm just here to recommend some horror movies that were well known and that should be put on Blu-ray. And two Blu-rays that I think are the best that came out in the year 2010. And I think that got good picture qualities and just other movies in general. So maybe I watched the YouTube episode and I see people in their own rooms doing their own reviews and the YouTube, and I figured, okay, I'll do it by myself, and normally I wouldn't, and just to practice. Beat back there was just my watch, and so I'm just going to discuss a couple of movies that I think are the best of the year, in my opinion, that I like to buy on Blu-ray, and Roger Rodriguez' Machete, which is, I think, it's the greatest movie, which was shown in Grindhouse's Planet Terror. They were talking about doing this one, I think, Roger Rodriguez, since Desperado, Machete. Took probably a while to make it, and I just had to see it, and got 2 discs. What I like about some of the Blu-rays is that they come with digital copies where you could download to your computer, your cell phone, iPods, and watch it on the computer and at home. And I think that's cool if you got the newest movie out that comes with this. I gotta hope so. Anyway, it's starring Steven Seagal, Robert De Niro, and you also got a couple of young actresses that started off from Sin City, and that were off from a couple of Roger Rodriguez's films. And Danny Trejo, who actually gets pretty lucky, who gets to have a lot of the ladies. Anyways, I consider it to be almost like a Grindhouse movie. And of course, my favorite special makeup effects artist, which I've talked about with Des, is Tom Savini. And he one of the bad guys, and they didn't show him getting killed. They showed it on a deleted scene where he gets the drill saw, which I don't know why they cut that out. They should have put it there because obviously what happens for revenge. And this one that I recommend, as my opinion, is one of my favorite movies of year 2010. That's a lot of fun. Ending is kind of like Desperado, where they're battling each other once upon a time in Mexico and stuff like that. But it's a fun movie to watch, and this is the one I just bought this month in January. Another Blu-ray I'm going to recommend that I think was good is a remake, Piranha. Too bad it wasn't 3D, so I saw it at a video store for only $19.99. Can't go wrong there because I thought it was going to be a lot more expensive. And sometimes I usually say that originals are better than the remakes, but I think this one was a lot of fun. It was from the same director who did the Wes Craven's Hills Have Eyes remake. It even comes with a pop-up cover. Now, the only thing that's too bad about this one is it doesn't come with a digital copy. It just comes by itself. It's pretty crazy. It's like Girls Gone Wild video, but like a snuff film with animals, big fishes. And I like the piranhas, how they viciously attack and stuff. And the ending, how they did it was kind of like a horror with Saving Private Ryan's Steven Spielberg, with the bodies laying around and the old shots. And I thought that was good because these kids didn't want to listen to the cops in the morning, so they ended up getting attacked, and there's a lot of these gore stuff in it, and animals. So this one, and these two I say would be the best gory horror movies to buy on Blu-ray, is Piranha and Machete. Last Exorcist I rented, it was okay. It wasn't bad. Some people have opinions saying it wasn't greatest, and I rented it, and it was I like the whole documentary thing. I almost say it's one of the best since the first Exorcist in 1973. Now, these movies I found out they talk about I wanted to do a bunch of interviews And I found these out for YouTube through the eSplatter and of course magazines like Reward and Fangoria. Black Devil Doll, a blaxploitation film. Now those of you that are Chucky fans, if you love Chucky fans, you gotta love Black Devil Doll. And hopefully it'll come out part 2. This came out in year 2009 or something in the year 2008. The most worst, anybody that has to see horror movies, I'm going to recommend Black Devil Doll that lives in Canada. And this cover has a bunch of swear words in. I've been trying to look for this one and I had a hard time. And I don't think it's out on Blu-ray. So I'll show you the back quickly. And it even comes out with an inside magazine, which not too many DVDs I think come out with that. So I'm going to say my own critic. It's got some gory pictures. It's got a bunch of swear words in it. It's even got this on it, so I won't repeat them, but it even comes with a poster, like all the underground movies that I own. This one is a must-get. If you love blaxploitation films, and you love Chucky, and you like a lot of nudity, you're definitely going to like Black Devil Doll. It even has a warning saying, due to this sadistic, repulsive subject matter, and no one under 17 should view this film. Now it is kind of like a porno. It's just like it's shot in somebody else's place, kind of like the horror film that I would like to make. And it has a whole bunch of these critics and stuff on it. And it's kind of about a black guy who rapes and kills a bunch of Caucasian white women. And you see him and he becomes his execution, and this girl plays with this board game, and he becomes obsessed in this doll, and he wants her to invite all her friends. He ends up killing them all, and even men. Now this is a doll raping and killing white women. Now how more offensive can that be for most audiences? Now if anybody that's a fan of gore or that's not a fan of these violent movies, don't watch it. And I'm just a big fan of those type things. It is incredibly graphic. It's got all kinds of critics. This movie delivers the total package in your door that says, you know what, when to sign for it. Maybe figured out what I said about there. Uncut and hilarious. He's a lover. He's a killer. He's a mother effing puppet. So, Rotten Cotton Pictures, they made up their own company by the Lewis Brothers films. And it's actually got some interviews that they showed on the YouTube website. And a couple others they didn't show that was playing on 42nd Street. And this is cool. So, I'm hoping to get a sequel, and I had a hard time finding this one, and it's too bad that video store is closing down because other places can't get them in system unless you go down to Toronto. And I live in Oshawa. And Black Devil Doll, the sickest movie ever seen. It's got some funny spots, and it's got a lot of serious stuff at the ending that you're never going to forget. This moment, so it might kind of make you kind of gross. So I need to use our horror fans. I'm going to recommend Black Devil Doll. You have to find out about it on YouTube, and I'm going to be one of the person who's late talking about this one. And it's actually the best doll horror film. Now, I'm not cracking up Chucky. Chucky's good, but this is like the snuff version of Chucky. It's also got a woman in a fight relationship between the dolls, same as Bride of Chucky. And but this one has a lot more sexuality to it. So it's kind of, it's not really a rip-off, but it has its own originalities, which is a pimp that becomes into this doll, and I think he's just incredible. And men get raped in it too, like I said. A couple scenes makes you wonder what the heck they were thinking, or maybe that prison time when you see him before he got executed might have warped him and stuff. It's got every bad, nasty thing you can think of. And another nasty movie I have filmed, there's a couple of these guys that directed. It's Isle of the Damned. So those of you that seen Cannibal Holocaust or Cannibal Ferox or Eaten Alive or Zombie Holocaust, all the European, Italian horror cinema, check out Isle of the Damned. I found this one out on about YouTube and all the critics. It says, it blew me, this film, I was blown away by this film. Isle of the Damned makes Cannibal Holocaust looked like Mary Poppins. Imagine that, eh? Well, Cannibal Holocaust is one of the worst films that those of you that have heard it. And even if those of you that haven't seen it should check this film out anyways, because it's hilarious. They wear these fake little beards and stuff, and the guy who directed it pretends to be the Italian director, or Galera, or something. Yes, Galera, which is Italian's name, and it says it was banned in 492 countries. I don't even think there is a ban in countries. They pretend it was made from 1980. There's a couple other films that I looked up on the website that are coming out. I probably got to go and wait to get them in Toronto. Monster One, Montana, and the other one is called The Isle of the Pledge or Phantom or something like that. I can't remember. I have to look at the case, but I watched the trailer. This one is another one you want to check out that came out in year 2009. Isle of the Damned, which has got a lot of sick stuff in it. It's got a lot of cannibal stuff, a lot of corniness. Ever since Bad Taste, Peter Jackson's Bad Taste, which I talked about in the last episode. Well, first episode with this. Another film I went and bought, which was in December, which is actually a Canadian horror film, Cannibal Girls. I remember I saw this one on TV, which I was surprised. This Cannibal Girls, if you haven't heard of Canada, besides David Cronenberg, which was made in 1972. So it's got a lot of some violence, a lot of funniness in it. It says this filmed right outside Toronto, and these about girls who seduce men, kill them, eat them, all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of hilarious. It says this picture, warning with a bell, it rings, close your eyes. If you're squeamish, these girls do exactly what you think they do. It's like in the cover. Also comes with a flip side. I usually like this case a lot better. I always think that's kind of cool. I haven't seen it on Blu-ray, so I'd imagine it was Blu-ray, but every time I see a DVD, I just go up and pick it up. And I just talked about a couple films, and of course they released a lot of Roger Corman films. The original Piranhas right here, the 1978 version. Well, the original, well I should say. And that film I've been waiting, and I saw it on Toronto, but I just never got to pick it up before it got released. Now another film that's older that I also tried to find, which I'm glad I got, is Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, the 35th Anniversary Extended Edition. And that one was horror, which I owned on a VHS, comes with the back of the case. Directed by Bob Clark, who did the original Black Christmas, which is Canadian. This one was shot in Florida by a Canadian director. He also directed everybody who loves the Christmas movie, The Christmas Story, Porky's 1 and 2, and I'm not sure about 3. But this one was about a couple of play kids that started messing around with the dead in the cemetery. They would bring the bodies and undig them, and they would start playing with the bodies. The guys start playing a joke. Suddenly, it's like a joke that bites them in the ass. So, don't want to play with dead things or dead bodies. You just never know when they come back until they read a book. Probably maybe sort of The Evil Dead. Not incredibly gory, but very entertaining, very weird, very bizarre. It's quite different than most of Bob Clark's films that he did, who passed away in the year 2007, unfortunately. Maybe hopefully they'll do a remake to this one. Wonder what it'll be like. Out of the thousands they did. Now I'm going to talk about a couple of Tromavilles that, if anybody heard of Toxic Waste Avenger, it starts with the Tromaville, which this movie really bothered me, and it's not on Blu-ray. A lot of people got to check this one out because it's a great cult film from 1980s, from the 85, which I always wanted to talk about it because it's called Combat Shock. You see the gun in the guy's head. I picked this one up because the case obviously looks very interesting, and it's